Once you find out that men can have eating disorders, you quickly come to the realization that lots of men do. It's actually really common, and the only reason people don't think about it that much is because it just comes in a different context. It doesn't look like people wanting to be like super tiny and frail and weak. It looks like people getting into intermittent fasting and then not eating for days on end. It comes out of like fitness gym bro culture. Similarly, once you realize that men can have self-harm behaviors, you actually realize that that's also extremely common. But that also looks different. Like, I didn't know a lot of guys in school who did the kinds of self-harm that were really common with women that I knew. But I knew a lot of guys who would like punch walls and like break their fingers and like do that regularly in ways that I never really understood it to be self-harm at the time, but that's 100% what it was. And this is something that you'll run into in a lot of domains where like the popular understanding of a certain condition or behavior is informed by how that thing is expressed in a very specific group of people. Another great example of that is the way that ADHD and autism are like extremely underdiagnosed in women. And it's just because the popular understanding of the symptoms of ADHD and autism are primarily based on how those things are expressed in men and boys. The whole thing to me feels kind of analogous to when people will say like, well, I don't see color, I'm like race blind or whatever. The same pitfalls that happen with that worldview happen with every other kind of blindness, like gender blindness, class blindness. If you don't see the various intersections of communities and identities that make up my expression, then you don't see me. And trying to define some kind of like social or personal phenomenon like based on the way that you've seen it as expressed in like a specific group of people means that it will always be unapplicable to the people who experience that, who have different intersecting identities.